So I ordered both a paperback and hardcover edition of my latest book bestseller book launch plan, each through Amazon KDP, IngramSpark, and the UK-based print-on-demand company Bookvault. I'd previously explored Amazon KDP versus IngramSpark, and surprisingly, though IngramSpark was more expensive, the delivery and quality were much better than KDP. But I wasn't satisfied with what I found and wanted to explore other options to compare. That's where Bookvault comes in. And here we are again. The results were not what I expected. In fact, it changed a bit from my previous video. If you're self-publishing and debating between these three companies, you need to watch this before you print your book, because the differences between these three could cost you big time. Today, I'm breaking down the cost, which company is more affordable, the quality, which one actually looks and feels better, the shipping speed, because straight up, nobody likes waiting forever for a proof copy to arrive in the mail. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly which one fits your publishing needs. So let's dive in. First things first, ordering from all platforms. KDP is a breeze. If you're already publishing on Amazon, you can order a proof copy or author copies right from your dashboard on the third step of the publishing process. It's dead simple. Keep in mind, if you want a copy without the watermark, you'll need to order an author copy, not a proof copy. But this time I decided to order direct from my product page on Amazon in hopes of getting it much sooner and at a cheaper cost, with royalties accounted for, of course. You'll discover soon that it wasn't a financially responsible idea to order direct from Amazon. You'll see, stay tuned. Now, IngramSpark is almost as easy to order. And keep in mind, you can get away with using the same interior as KDP, but you must format the book cover according to their stringent specs. A side note, IngramSpark does charge update fees for any changes you want to make 60 days after publishing. Currently, if you're an author member of the Alliance of Independent Authors, you'll get one free update waived per month. To get details about membership, visit dalelinks.com/ally. And even though I'm not the biggest fan of Bookvault's user interface and uploading process, ordering a proof was simple. And you can use the same files for KDP. No need for special formatting. That's one thing I just dislike about using IngramSpark. They have their own formatting specs for covers. The interiors work for all three platforms, but whatever reason, IngramSpark decided to be different with covers. Oh, and there is an upload fee for Bookvault unless you're paying for a monthly subscription with them. However, you can use the code BVDALE to waive your next 3 uploads. And if you're a member of Ally, they currently waive all upload fees. I'll put this right here for you again, so go check it out. So how much did I spend on each? Now, okay, full disclosure, I ordered my book through Amazon and the product page because I wanted to get to me a lot sooner. So naturally, I spent full retail on the paperback. So that was $19.99, and the hardcover was $29.99. Yes, that's how much I priced my books at. I could have marked it down probably and gotten a better cost, but here we are. So the total price out the door was $53.73. That comes with, of course, the free shipping with Amazon Prime, which is kind of nice. You don't get that when you're ordering author copies. Now, bear in mind, I'll be getting a royalty of about $9.22 for the paperback and $10.57 for the hardcover. This means that I only paid $33.94. In my last comparison, I ordered a proof copy from within my KDP dashboard, and it cost $15.67. And of that, there was $5.28 in shipping fees and taxes. So I essentially paid twice as much to get both books this time around. I'll cover if it was worth it later. Now, IngramSpark's paperback was $4.36, and their hardcover was $9.94. The total price was $19.67, including the $5.37 in shipping and taxes. This is considerably cheaper than ordering full retail on Amazon. We're getting past that. Let's just move past that. But if I ordered a proof copy through KDP, it'd be about $5 more for IngramSpark, which, to be fair, isn't a bad markup. It should be noted that IngramSpark is changing their pricing on April 1st of 2025 with some print options coming out cheaper. There's a link in the description for more details about the upcoming changes. Now, Bookvault's paperback cost me $3.18 and the hardcover was $5.82. The total price was $23.96, including $14.96 in shipping and taxes. Now, I ordered standard shipping by way of UPS because the cheaper options would have gotten my books here a lot later, so I was a little impatient. I'm sorry, so sue me here. Here's the remarkable part about the cost for Bookvault. They were only 31 cents more expensive than KDP for paperback if I were to order an author copy, and about $1.18 cheaper than IngramSpark, but the hardcover was considerably cheaper than either option, with Bookvault being $1.70 less than KDP and $4.12 less than IngramSpark. Once you add in shipping and taxes, though, it levels the playing field. Although the Bookvault proofs were cheaper for this comparison, it's still about $8.29 more expensive than KDP for proof copies. Remember, I order my books this time directly from the product page on Amazon. I thought we got past this. We didn't, I guess. And it's less than $4.29 more than IngramSpark. I'm sure I could have made these options cheaper if I ordered the bare necessities from each company. That'd put KDP in the lead, IngramSpark in second, and Bookvault in third. But one of the redeeming parts of Bookvault is their hardcover pricing is substantially lower than the others. That, to me, I think is a big win. Now, moral of the story, order your proofs well ahead of your book launch so you can get the best bargain possible. There will be no need for ordering rush services or off Amazon at a much higher price. We didn't get past it, I know. I need to probably seek therapy on this one. Then if you'd get proof copies through KDP. After placing the orders, I watched out for which one would get here first, and the results were about what I expected. I ordered from KDP on Friday, February 28th, the paperback arrived on Monday, March 3rd, and the hardcover arrived on Wednesday, March 5th. That was about 3 days for paperback and 5 days for hardcover. I imagine since I ordered on a Friday night, the orders came a little later than they normally would, and this applies to all three companies, of course. The weekend put a brief speed bump in fulfillment, but it wasn't a big deal to me. The hardcover arrived in a box, while the paperback in a plastic padded mailing envelope. I have a rich history of ordering proof copies and stuff like that from Amazon, and it just arrives in a padded envelope. That is not adequate shipping supplies, folks. I think, in my opinion, that all books need to be sent out in a cardboard box or a custom cardboard mailer because it will reinforce paperback books so they're not going to get crumpled up, and it also gets it to where it protects some of the corners and edges for a hardcover book. It makes all the difference. Amazon, please stop sending out your print copies through padded mailers. It's not a winning situation. Now, for IngramSpark, I paid more for rush service. Now, this is for the print services. It was marginally more to choose, and I figured it was worth trying again since the last time I did it, my books came in record time. The shipping costs were about the same as if I would have ordered proofs through KDP, but since I ordered from my product page on Amazon, IngramSpark wins here, and shipping and tax were nearly 3 times less expensive than Bookvault. I ordered my books from IngramSpark on Friday, February 28th, and arrived on Monday, March 10th. It took the books 10 days to arrive. If we compare that to the last time I did a comparison video between KDP and IngramSpark, you'll notice it took 3 days originally with IngramSpark. I chose the rush printing and standard shipping options both times, but it seemed to favor me last time and not so much this time. Getting a proof order in a week and a half is pretty standard. I'd imagine it would have been much faster had I placed the order earlier in the week and not on a Friday night. The part I wasn't a fan of was that the paperback cover was slightly marred on the top. It wasn't much, but it was enough to singe my nose hairs. I'm sure if I contacted support, IngramSpark would probably make it right. But this time around, I'm going to chalk it up to a random mistake in packing. I've never had bad copies from IngramSpark, so this is a bit of an outlier for me. For Bookvault, I paid more for faster shipping. I ordered proofs on Friday, February 28th, and both copies arrived in a custom cardboard mailer with an itemized order sheet on Tuesday, February the 11th. The proofs arrived a day after the other companies, and the shipping was over $4 more expensive than IngramSpark. I'm not disappointed in these results, but I will admit that ordering my book through Amazon instead of KDP greatly skewed the results. But since I ordered from Amazon, I paid significantly more than Bookvault, so they get the nod this time. But the true hero in this comparison is IngramSpark, marred paperback cover aside. Why the heck did I order the copies off Amazon instead of through KDP? I wanted to prove that sometimes faster isn't always cheaper or better. When you need proofs, give yourself plenty of lead time. Otherwise, you'll be shelling out over $50 for 2 proofs that you get to have in record time. Is the cost worth it? It's debatable. And packaging, let's just say one company really dropped the ball here. Most of the books arrived in great shape, but I'm a little bothered that Amazon chose to mail my paperback book in a flimsy padded mailer. Nothing bad happened and it came in great shape, but this brings up a valid issue. If I order the hardcover and paperback at the same time, why were they shipped in different types of packaging? The whole shipping process for Amazon and KDP proof orders need an entire overhaul. If this is the service we're getting as authors and customers, we all need to strongly consider the alternatives. Do better, Amazon. It's not like you don't have the resources to fulfill print orders as good, if not better, than your competition. And since the IngramSpark paperback came marred, I'm going to have to lean in favor of Bookvault for shipping. Yes, it took 1 day longer than IngramSpark and about a week longer than Amazon, but the wait was worth it since the books arrived unharmed and in great quality, which is a perfect segue into... Let's do a side-by-side comparison to see the differences in overall print quality. Let's compare shipping. First of all, KDP came in 2 different packages, one cardboard box with paper filling for the hardcover and one plastic padded mailer for paperback. IngramSpark, it was a custom cardboard mailer with an itemized list of contents, and the same thing could be said about Bookvault. For print quality, KDP has a flatter color printing with less saturation than most print-on-demand companies. The paperback was fine, but the hardcover came with glue residue on the cover. This isn't the first time I've received proofs from Amazon with this nasty stuff smeared on it, and there was significant bowing in the hardcover book. When placed next to the other books, you'll see a noticeable difference. I've long shared how KDP's hardcover option isn't my favorite. It's because hardcovers seem like an afterthought for them, and the printers handling these orders don't seem to care for every copy going through their printers, which it's an Amazon company. And one of their biggest core philosophies is to take care of their customers. Sometimes they're trying to fulfill orders too quick, so they sacrifice quality. They need to slow down, get the order right, then ship it. The interior quality varies based on the print type. Both interiors are a bit faded for my liking. The hardcover is a bit darker than the paperback, but when you compare both books to the other companies, you'll see the ink saturation is significantly less with KDP. I feel like anyone with sight issues might have a problem with reading the paperback. It's that faded. IngramSpark nails it in this department. They have a perfect blend of color saturation and contrast. When I look closely at the finer elements of my cover design, I notice they really pop compared to KDP. My one knock on IngramSpark this time is the cover got banged up in transit. The funny part is the box was totally fine, so maybe the printers or packers accidentally marred the cover while inserting it into the package. I don't know. It's a little nitpicky to me, so I'm not going to fault them too much. I've ordered dozens of books from IngramSpark, and this is the first time I've ever received a damaged book. The interior, though, is flawless. IngramSpark nails it on quality every time. The ink saturation's perfect. They use enough ink to provide that darkness a reader needs, but not too much that it'll waterlog the paper. Now, Bookvault is excellent for quality too. If you place their books next to the others, you'll see Bookvault has a clear difference in quality compared to KDP. But when you place it next to IngramSpark, you'll see that they're both great. However, IngramSpark has a slight advantage in capturing finer design elements. To be very clear though, if I ordered my proofs for Bookvault through their UK printers, this would be a very different outcome. The printers used in the US are not the same as the UK, so you're not going to see the same level of quality. But that's because Bookvault is a UK-based company where they've been plugging away at it for years, improving and iterating what they offer. They more recently picked up US, Australia, and Canada printing and distribution. This means that quality will fluctuate based on where you order from. My advice: do your own research to see how the quality comes out. Yes, this means ordering proofs from all three. The bottom line is that IngramSpark and Bookvault are nearly indistinguishable in quality. It comes down to taste. If I were forced to answer, I'm going to lean in favor of IngramSpark. It was a bit cheaper than Bookvault and came one day sooner. That's the only reasons my vote is for quality in favor of IngramSpark. But I believe if this were a comparison of IngramSpark versus Bookvault UK, it might be a much different outcome. With paper thickness, KDP is a 55-pound white, IngramSpark is a 50-pound white, and Bookvault is roughly a 54-pound white, or otherwise known as 80 grams per square meter. Now, keep in mind on this one, all three companies allow you to choose different types of paper, so you're not just limited to what I used. Do your research ahead and always order a proof to make sure it's exactly what you want. For a nonfiction book, anything above 50 pound is good, according to me. Overall, the binding and durability was good for all companies, but I do have to mark KDP down a few notches for consistently botching the hardcover print job. Every time I've ordered a hardcover, with no exaggeration, the cover comes already bowed or eventually bows in the next few days after arrival. Also, you'll notice KDP and Bookvault are slightly larger than IngramSpark for both paperback and hardcover. Of course, we can attribute that to the thicker paper stock. That's not a big deal to me. If I'm going to give anyone the nod here, it'll be IngramSpark, Bookvault, and KDP paperback. KDP hardcover, again, falls short of my expectations. For overall print quality, I'm giving IngramSpark the honors, with Bookvault a very, very close second. It's not that KDP is horrible, but they can certainly improve in more ways than one. Let's start with not sending out proofs with gross-looking residue. I mean, it almost looks like someone handled it after eating a greasy pizza, but the oil solidified onto the cover, and it just is now a questionable streak, and I don't want anybody to have my book then. No. Let's talk about where your book will be available. Now, KDP print is Amazon only unless you opt into their expanded distribution, which comes with an asterisk. KDP uses Ingram Book Group to distribute your book to the US and UK for an additional 20% cut in royalties. Now, for book sales made through Amazon, you get a royalty of 60% minus the print fees. For sales made through expanded distribution, you get 40% minus print fees. Now, IngramSpark, this is where they shine. They distribute to over 45,000 libraries, bookstores, and more, which is a huge deal if you're going wide with your book. And the best part is they use Ingram Book Group for distribution, but it's not just the US and UK like KDP Print has for its expanded distribution. You get all of Ingram Book Group's reach, which includes the US, UK, Canada, Europe, Australia, New Zealand, China, South Korea, India, Japan, South Africa, and Brazil. My goodness. And IngramSpark allows you to set your royalty based on the wholesale discounts you'll offer retailers. The royalty can range usually between 45 to 65% based on the region. Even at the lowest royalty, you'll still be getting 5% more than KDP and reach all of Ingram Book Group's regions, not just the US and UK. But does that justify the extra cost? That's what you have to decide. For me, it's a solid yes. Now, Bookvault has distribution through Amazon, Garner's, the Great British Bookshop, and Bookvault's direct sales integration with Shopify, WooCommerce, Wix, PayHip, and API for websites. The royalties work exactly like IngramSpark, where you set the wholesale discount, but the ranges are a lot more flexible than IngramSpark. Getting Amazon distribution is nice, but remember, you don't want to use this option through Bookvault if you're already publishing your print book to Amazon from elsewhere like KDP or IngramSpark. Bookvault owns the Great British Bookshop, so you'll get some excellent royalties. And if you sell anything direct, you get the best royalties of any platform, bar none. I've personally used Bookvault for print fulfillment through PayHip and love how easy it is to set up and fulfill orders. Gardner's is other avenues, and it reaches thousands of online retailers, bookstores, and libraries. And oddly enough, you can reach Gardner's through Ingram Book Group, of course, with IngramSpark and KDP's expanded distribution. Now, they're a little more questionable, though, because you are not guaranteed to get your book listed with them. That company will curate a list of books available through Bookvault, so your book better be good, and you better come with an eager audience willing to buy it, of course. I couldn't find a whole lot of information about getting placement in Gardner's. It seems like you just have to hope they choose your book for distribution. I don't know. I don't like that personally, but yeah. So after testing everything, cost, quality, shipping speed, and distribution, who wins? I'm going to give you my answer this time, unlike last time. IngramSpark. I hate choosing a favorite, especially since Bookvault isn't producing inferior quality print on demand. It's just that IngramSpark is just that much better than Bookvault. That much. And the print quality for KDP is good for paperback, but questionable for hardcover. What do you think? Who is the best option to you based on what I've shared and what you experienced so far? If you want convenience and affordability, KDP print is the way to go, but be aware that it can take you longer when ordering proofs instead of direct from your product page on Amazon. Don't do that. You just waste money. If you need better distribution and higher quality printing, IngramSpark might be worth the extra effort. And for speed, I'd recommend either ordering your book direct from Amazon and invest a little more on the rush printing services with IngramSpark and Bookvault. And if you're not a fan of IngramSpark, Bookvault is a more than suitable option. Sure, you won't get the same reach as IngramSpark, but you'll still reach quite a few areas throughout the world. I'll continue to use all three avenues. If you'd like to learn how to launch a #1 best-selling book on Amazon, you can pick up a copy of the bestseller book launch plan at every major online retailer. Visit dalelinks.com/bestsellerbook. Stay tuned to this channel for the next video comparison. I'll be ordering from 4 print-on-demand companies next, so you can see how they all compare and discover what the best option is for your needs. Till later, check out the last time when I compared KDP and IngramSpark print books. You'll get more insights and examples of what to expect from both companies. I'll see you there.